This is Eric Bischoff. You know, controversy creates cash. You know what else? You're listening to In Your Head.
All right, we are back, and we're joined by his fourth appearance here on In Your Head, the living legend, Larry Zbyszko. Welcome back to the show.
Well, thank you. Thank you very much. You guys are always in my head.
Oh, man.
I remember your shirt, Jack.
Oh, man, that makes my day. It's too bad that, you already got the book out, Adventures in Larryland, because that could have been the final chapter, your fourth appearance on In Your Head. Another milestone in a glorious career.
You know what? I'm saving you for the next book.
Oh, there we go. But
well, I wrote it different. I did it like a dream come true story. I didn't really do it about wrestling, but of course it was, my dream wrestling. So I tried to write it different. I never read any wrestling books, but I just wanted to do something a little different. So, did you like it? Did you read it?
I read it, and I actually really loved it. Everybody check it out. It's Adventures in Larryland, Larry Zbyszko. And what was really impressive is you actually wrote this book.
I wrote this word for word.
Mm-hmm.
And, no ghostwriters. It wasn't something that was mass-produced by the WWE. And, I kind of put my heart into it, and I wanted the fans to, enjoy reading it and also, just get a feeling for how wrestling was and, compared to how it is today, kind of.
Yeah, and, seriously, when you're reading it, you can really tell that, you wrote it, because it's very, it's very Larry. It's very Larry Zbyszko.
Yeah, well, it's kind of, it's like hanging out with me.
Yeah, exactly.
Hard turn on by itself.
What was that? I
don't know. That's on your end.
I think that's our caller, Andre. He's having some kind of trouble there.
Oh, I was talking to someone else.
Oh yeah. Don't bother us. Don't bother, listening to the show, right?
Is that Larry Zbyszko?
Yeah. Yep.
Oh, what you thought about the Ric Flair thing?
What do you think?
I just got here.
Yeah,
he wants to know what you think about Ric Flair, I guess.
What I think about Flair?
Yeah.
Retirement.
Well,
retirement.
Ric Flair's a unique wrestling character. He's one of the few guys that kind of became the character. He doesn't live in the same world we do. And I kind of feel sorry for him in a way because, his financial situation is so messed up. That's why he keeps wrestling, and McMahon keeps abusing him for, the last few years. But, he's all right. He's in his own world. Me and Flair were never what you would call friends. And, they wanted me to wrestle Flair before, but he was afraid to get in the ring, for selfish reasons, and I thought it was a big letdown for the fans. It would have been something, that would have been a great thing that never happened, so.
Yeah, something that he talks about in the book is...
He's one of these guys that I'd rather, leave than take.
Yeah, I was disappointed I actually read that in your book, that you came up with, an idea to wrestle him, and, just like you said in the book, just like all the promos leading up to that, I think would have been gold. It was that situation where, in World Championship Wrestling, me and Flair never wrestled each other ever. Mm-hmm.
And they had this idea, that I went along with and said, yeah, it would be good. We had a meeting about it and the whole bit, because it would have been something that would have been great for the fans and the business.
Mm-hmm.
But, he was just afraid he'd get outshined, and he didn't want, he wouldn't get in the ring. He thought I was going to, beat him up or something.
Did you have anything else there, Andre?
What? Oh, Andre.
That's my...
All right, thanks for calling, man.
Hold on. I got one last thing. That's it.
All right, man.
If the WWE asks you to be in the Hall of Fame, will you accept it? That's it. That's all I got to ask.
All right.
What do you
think? I get tired of me asking questions.
No, it's cool, Andre. He wanted to know if WWE asked you to be in the Hall of Fame, if you would accept it.
Well, I'd have to think about that. It would depend, how they asked me, because I don't expect a call. If you read the book, you probably understand more now why, Vince Jr. don't like me. But, if it was something that would be, something the fans would like, or something that would be interesting, I might do it. Yeah, and I look at the business different than most people, especially at the stage I am now. I was always a big believer in, you have to give the fans what the fans want. Mm-hmm. And if it would be a good thing, I would do it. I mean, there's no hard feelings. He hates me, and I just don't care for his product. But other than that, it's just showbiz.
Right. Actually, when I was reading your book, there's something I wanted to ask you is, can we get "Hey Pal" Vince McMahon impression from you?
Oh, an impression?
Yeah.
No, I can't give any spoilers, Jack. They're going to have to read the book.
Oh, man, that's right. Everybody has to read the book. And another thing, I don't want to give too much away from the book, is Chapter 8, I think, is probably like the must-read chapter.
Everybody loves Chapter 8 after all the stuff I wrote.
It's like, it really gets into, like, your inner turmoil. It's just a very well-written chapter, I believe.
Oh, God, that's a classic, ain't it?
Yeah. And if I gave it away, it wouldn't be nearly as good a read as while you're reading the book.
No.
Right.
Yeah, but people are all talking about the infamous Chapter 8.
Right, and don't just like pick up the book and flip to Chapter 8. Read the whole book.
Oh yeah, you got to. Otherwise, Chapter 8 won't make sense.
Exactly. But thanks for calling in, whoever just called in. We got Adam on the line.
Yeah. First of all, I want to say thanks for having me on, and it's a pleasure talking to Larry.
Hello, Adam.
Yeah. My question is, what's the one match that you didn't like in your career? Like, there's the stretcher match and stuff. Is there a match you didn't like that you didn't want to be in?
You want to know, like, one match that you had that you just wish you didn't have?
Oh, God. You know what? To be honest with you, most of my matches were pretty good. I'm a perfectionist, so I hate most everything I did. But I had a lot of 10s. The one match I really regretted, I wrestled Kevin Sullivan one time, and it was the most horrible match I ever had. I wish that never happened. But other than that...
What was wrong with that one? It just nothing didn't click? Or?
Well, it was just kind of a real bad mishmash of styles. I was a wrestler, and I don't know what the hell Kevin was. He just ran around and, would scratch and claw, and to me it was just stupid and horrible.
Well, I hope that answered your question, Adam.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
Thanks for calling in, Adam.
All right, thanks for having me on.
No problem. We also have, we've got, who is this? We got Jason on the line.
Yay.
You got a question for Larry?
I have two, a wrestling-related one, and then I have a golf-related one, if that's cool.
No, I love golf.
Well, I'll get to the wrestling-related one first. I know a lot of people don't really talk about your tag team with Arn, but I thought you guys were a really good team. Do you have any good stories from when you were teaming with Arn?
Well, you know what? It's funny you said that because I wasn't big on teaming. I like being a singles guy. I did some teaming at the beginning with Tony Gurria and on and off with Andre or Calhoun. But me and Arn made a real good team. We called it the Enforcers, which was at the beginning of WCW, and it was real good. I mean, when we walked out, you could feel the electricity in the buildings, and it's interesting because I put the story of the Enforcers and me and Arn in the book. And I put one of them in to kind of illustrate how it was. Arn was a good guy, but I used to drive poor Arn nuts. And, God, I don't want to give you any spoilers, because I wrote a story about that in the book.
Yeah, exactly.
But I really enjoyed, I mean, me and Arn, as the Enforcers was very good, and it had to do with the politics of WCW changing at the time, why it didn't last. And it was too bad, but it was just another example of how screwed up WCW always was.
So when you talk about in the book, I don't give away why, you drove him crazy, but, he never actually got mad at you, about it, did he? It was like you guys always got along.
Oh no, we always got along good. He was just a character. He'd be walking up and down the apron bitching and screaming, and But he wouldn't do nothing. I'd give him a spanking. Are you kidding?
Anything else? What was your golf question, Jason?
Golf question.
I live in Pennsylvania. I was curious, what's your favorite place to golf in Pennsylvania?
Oh, my God. You know what? I haven't played in Pennsylvania in years. I was raised there, but I haven't been there in years. But you know what? I played a hell of a course there a few years ago. Let me get these brain cells working. Now that you ask me, it's on the tip of my tongue, and it's the old course where they had the U.S. Open in Pittsburgh, and I played there with Bill Fralick, who was one of the Pittsburgh Steelers guys, and Oakmont was the club I played in Pittsburgh with the real fast greens, and yeah, Oakmont was a classic.
You know where that is, Jason?
I know how to get to Pittsburgh, so I don't think I'd have a hard time finding if I got the address and whatnot. So.
Yeah.
Well, you can just Google it, but Oakmont is a real old private, la-di-da club where Bobby Jones used to play and all that, and they had the U.S. Open there a lot. And they had the U.S. Open, I think, in Pittsburgh. And it's notorious for its, ice-fast greens.
Oh.
Maybe you can caddy for Larry.
Yeah, I'll do that. That'd be a hell of a...
Oh, it would be an experience. Yes, we have to be a good cart driver, because I don't walk.
I would welcome sitting underneath the learning tree for a day.
Okay.
Thanks for calling in, Jason.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah. So again, it's Adventures in Larryland, book by Larry Zbyszko. Why did you write it yourself and not have someone help you, not have a ghostwriter?
You know what? It didn't make sense to me, because if you're going to write a book, and maybe I'm just old school, but if you're going to write a book, you write the book. And if you have someone else do it, how can they put it together like you could do it,
Right.
I mean, it just doesn't make sense. And I always knew what I was, it wasn't hard making up the book because I knew what happened because it was my life.
Right.
But, I just had to do it myself. I'm just a perfectionist like that, so.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you didn't have an experience like that. You knew going in that you wanted to do it yourself. You didn't someone wasn't trying to do it and it just didn't work out. Because I know, I know when Mick Foley was writing his, originally someone else was writing it, and he started reading it, and he just was not happy with it. I was wondering, you knew all along going in that you were going to write it yourself?
Oh yeah, no, I'm a perfectionist. I mean, if it's a book about, if it's my book, I'm writing it. It's that, because no one could write it as good as me.
Exactly. We got Buck on the line.
Yeah.
You got a question for Larry?
Yeah, I was just wondering, the last few months that you were doing the commentating on Thunder, did you announcers understand what was going on, or were you as confused as the viewers were?
You know what? It's a good question, but when I started doing Thunder, not only was I confused, I was about done with WCW. They had it so screwed up at that point already that, me and Heenan and some of the other guys, it got painful. We worked so hard for 10 years, and then they just, the whole thing got messed up, and there was a reason for it getting messed up. No one cared anymore. Nobody was running it. Time Warner already knew they were going to cancel it. They just didn't tell anybody. Me and some other people knew, so it was like, it was a horrifying experience at the end to see what happened to that great show. It's too bad.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything else there, Buck? He's not. Were you surprised, that WCW was sold to WWE?
Well, no, I wasn't surprised, and WCW really wasn't sold to McMahon because it's a television show. Without the television show, there's nothing. The only thing McMahon bought, basically, was the library of tapes. And that was just the stupidest thing that AOL Time Warner could have done. I mean, they gave, years and years of tapes, for pennies. They could have produced thousands and thousands of hours of high-rated shows just from all the tapes they had. All they need is some guy to work the computer machine and a couple of announcers, you know. I mean, it was just the stupidest thing, but, you know, but that, you know, even as big as it was, McMahon buys it, and in 2 months he kills that entire name.
Mm-hmm. Who else we got here on the line? We got a lot of people calling in tonight. We got, I don't know how to say this guy's name, João from Portugal.
Portugal?
Oh?
Yep.
Yes, indeed. How are you doing, Larry?
Oh, I'm doing great.
I don't know if you guys can hear me, but I can hear you guys perfectly. I got 3 quick questions. First of all, you worked for many years for the AWA, and you did a transition for the WCW in 1990. How was that transition from working for the AWA to working to WCW on WCW?
Well, you know what? That's an interesting question too. You're going to have to read the book to get the whole story about that, because it was a transition from the days of wrestling territories and wrestling companies like the WWE is to really the first time the corporate world, you know, started their own network television show, and it was completely different. And it's kind of funny when you read the book. You know, you'll see more what I'm talking about, because you know, it kind of went from dealing with old-time wrestlers who ran the territories, like Vern Gagne and Roy Shires and other people, to people in suits who were accountants and lawyers and that didn't have a clue. I mean, they didn't have a clue about the wrestling business. They didn't know what it was, and half of the, you know, big shots there didn't want it anyway. It was only on TV because Ted Turner wanted it. So all these executives were running around like idiots, making the stupidest decisions, and it was just a complete cartoon.
Also, I would like to ask you, and you kind of almost resumed that, but still, while you were working for WCW, did you thought that when the NWO angle started to, become more important, do you think that you thought that the things could get better, or was it at a time that the things started to get even worse because now you have guys that try to get more power and politic their way to the top? What are your thoughts of it?
Well, I don't know if I really touched on that kind of it. It was just, it got real big and real hot, and then they just didn't have control of it. You know, Bischoff lost control of it because of the way they wrote these stupid contracts that, you know, guys could do whatever they want. And then, you know, the superstars, so-called superstars, most of them were idiots, you know, they wouldn't listen, and they killed the programming, and the whole New World Order thing could have stayed a lot better, a lot longer. But the inmates took over, and the rest is history. You
mentioned in the book that you weren't like a big fan of being part of a group, but like if you were in your prime when the NWO took off, would that have been something you'd like to have been a part of?
What, the NWO?
Yeah.
No, I didn't want to be part of the NWO. I wanted to be on the other side that was battling the New World Order.
Right.
So, which is the way, if you read the book, you know, this is the way I programmed it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
It would be kind of like the NWA, quote unquote, versus the NWO.
I didn't like the groups. I mean, you know, the NWO, even when it started, it wasn't a big group. Yeah, but, you know, after about a year, it got too big. You know, it got too big. There was too many people in it that shouldn't have been in it, like Dusty and other people, and then too many, you know, young guys, Bagwells and all them, and then they had the Red and the Black and the Latino World Order and the Wolfpack World Order. I mean, it got ridiculous. You know, it's too bad. That's what happens when you have somebody running a company that doesn't know what they're doing.
What was your third question there?
It's a quick question because I know there's other people that want to ask their questions. You are obviously very, very close and very associated with Bruno Sammartino. You know, you were the living legend, and there was that back many years ago. You were working with them. And overall, did you always liked to work with them, or was there a time where you didn't get along with them? And sometimes it's thought that stuff wasn't working that well. What are your thoughts of it?
Well, I'm glad. I think I did a good job on the book, because all the questions people are asking me are everything will be explained, and you'll find out all these answers, when you read the book. But working with Bruno was the greatest matches I ever had. Not only was it emotional, but it was also, the biggest houses. Thousands and thousands of people in Shea Stadium with 45,000 people. That was unheard of, but the electricity. It was different back then. When I hit Bruno and he fell down, people in the audience got heart attacks and died. And there was riots, and I was shot at and stabbed and overturned in cabs, and I had cars smashed, and riots would break out in the ring every night. It was a different world than today, but it was exciting. Plus the money was huge, and it made me a star. So that was the greatest time ever.
Are you proud of Bruno that he never went back to WWE in recent years when they've tried to get him to come back for the Hall of Fame, and he's pretty much stuck to his guns and never came back?
Well, Bruno, he's an old school guy, and he's a very honest guy, and he's a man of his word, and he would never be a hypocrite. And he wouldn't deal with McMahon until McMahon starts doing the business like it should be, without all this raunchy, stupid sex crap, and without all these idiotic, stupid skits.
Yes.
It became a raunchy, ridiculous show, and Bruno's not going to have any part of it.
Mm. Something you talked about in the book is that they didn't want to. Well, I don't give away too much of the book, but that you weren't a real huge guy. Why do you think they were always obsessed with real big men?
Well, that was their psychology of the day.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bruno was a big guy.
Right.
Bruno was 260, 270 pounds, and the mindset of the time was that in order to get sympathy, so people would, get excited about a match, was that the bad guy was supposed to be bigger than the good guy, because naturally people's instincts always root for the underdog. They love to see the underdog come through with a small guy win, and Bruno was so big it was hard to find guys bigger, But that was an old school kind of thing that worked for a while. But the McMahons didn't understand really the business. They were good promoters, but they don't know how to create things. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Bruno was a big star. They could promote him, or if Hogan got over, they could promote him, but they didn't know how to make him. Vern Gagne was the one that turned Hogan into the good guy hero, at the right time.
Do you think that's a problem now? Yeah, do you think that's a problem now that there is no place to get stars from? That they pretty much have to create stars now?
Well, that's their problem, because stars just don't pop up out of the woodwork. You have to make them. But the reason, the rating did at 2.9 last week. It was way down. It's a combination of their show being way too raunchy and stupid. Plus, they don't know how to make stars. And so they just keep throwing the same thing in the people's face, over and over and over and over, whether you like it or not. But they just don't know how to make stars. Once in a while, a 1 in a million guy will be smart enough to get himself over good, and then the McMahons can promote him. Mm-hmm. But they don't know how to make them.
Would your at the time when you left WWF, would it have been different? If it was nowadays, since isn't really another place you could go to, maybe TNA? Would you have probably stayed? If all that happened today?
Well, it's hard to say. Wrestling is a business.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're somewhere making good money, it's probably just like most jobs that normal people have. Even though you hate your job or hate working at a certain place, if you're making good money at it and there's nowhere else to go, where you're going to go. So it makes the decision kind of easy.
Right. So when I was reading the book, I wanted to ask you if you ever used the line that there's someone on the wing of the plane when you were flying around.
No, I never used the line "someone on the wing of the plane" unless it's a gremlin. But
right.
But I know God was my co-pilot a few times.
We got Brian Jones on the line.
Oh, hi. I just wanted to say that first preface by saying that you were the reason I watched AWA wrestling after school in the late 80s because I wanted to see you lose. If that's that is a compliment.
Well, thanks. Thank you very much. Hey, I've been watching the AWA stuff on the old classics. I forgot how good I was.
Well, I was always thinking, like, man, I hope he gets beat this week. And, you retired. They ended with you as champ, so I guess that's an accomplishment. My main question was, in that six-man tag that you were in Starrcade 87 with the late Eddie Gilbert and Rick Steiner against Sting, and I think both of the Freebirds, do you know why that match ended in a time-limit draw? I never understood why the opening match of a show would end without a winner. I mean, do you know the reason why they said, okay, nobody's going to win, it's just going to go into a tie?
Oh, my God. To be honest with you, I don't even remember that match. I mean, I've had 10,000 of them, and I don't remember a match. I remember, is it one where I think I broke Bobby Eaton's arm with the thing. I don't think that was it. I really can't tell you.
Okay.
You stumped me with that one.
Oh, I'm sorry. The other thing I wanted to know is how exactly did you work the idea of slamming Barry Windham's hand in a car door without actually, like, breaking it? Or, I didn't know.
Maybe they did break.
Oh,
did they really break his up?
Oh, yeah, that was kind of a scary thing, at the time, but we just slammed the old door and ran.
Did he have any, did he have to get, surgery on it, or?
It broke, so he had to put it in the cast for a while.
Was that your idea, or Arn's, or?
Well, I was much more nasty than Arn was. It's probably more my idea. But it was a spur-of-the-moment kind of thing, and Arn wasn't ready for it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed that angle. That was really. I was a big Barry Windham fan, and so that. I really enjoyed those.
No, it was kind of my idea, and we dragged Arn into it quick, and then it freaked Arn out, I think.
It was kind of scary for me watching as a youngster. But I appreciate you taking my call, and I also just want to end by saying I really enjoyed your comment about the game of human chess. I always thought that was a cool phrase, so I just want to let you know I thought that was really a neat phrase that you use all the time as a broadcaster. But thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, thanks. I hope you enjoyed the book.
As an added bonus, if you get the book, Brian, you get to look in the middle, and there's a picture of Larry playing chess. Not human chess, but actual chess. When I
was a kid, my sister had pictures.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool pictures in there. You actually, I told Incher this. There's some in here. You actually look a lot like Incher, 1-inch biceps.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You know what? There's one picture in there. I wonder if some people recognize it. It's almost like a hidden picture. I mean, it's kind of a secret inside thing. I don't know if you got it or if anybody. But, some people who really, really are sharp know. There's one picture where I did a caption about checking the guy's tights for a knife.
I don't think I remember seeing that one. I don't think I read the caption on the pictures. I think I just looked at it.
All right. Well, you know what? Do you have the book there?
Yeah, I have it right in my hands.
If you look at that picture, I wonder if it'd be like a super trivia question. If you could tell me why you think I said that about that picture.
Do you know what page it's on?
It's right in the middle of the pictures.
Right.
The pictures section.
Yeah. Well, while I look, do you have a question from the message board, Incher?
Oh, certainly. Okay, Cobb, he wants to know, where you got all your shirts on Impact.
That's the Big Dog store. I don't know. You know what? I just kind of like big, colorful, comfy shirts. So I'm not really sure where I got them from. But as I travel around and see stuff, you know, I grab some now and then.
Oh, I see the picture. I don't know who that is.
Well, here's why I made that caption. Not too many people get it. It's kind of like a secret thing that, you know, very, very smart. The guy I'm wrestling there was from Madison Square Garden. I wrestled him a lot. His name was Jose Gonzalez.
Oh, the Invader.
Oh, yeah. He's the guy that stabbed Brody.
Yeah, I get it now.
So that's why I put it there, but to kind of see if anybody could figure it out.
Ah.
See, there's hidden things in there you got to look for.
Now I've got to reread it. So if you buy it, you don't just read it once. You can reread it. You can look at the pictures and find out all the hidden meanings between everything.
Well,
if you read it backwards, do you find anything else out?
Yeah, the devil talks to you.
Oh man.
Oh, okay.
Well, that must be that's probably.
I don't know. That's what the Beatles did, right?
Yeah, I was gonna say that. Maybe that's more of a Kevin Sullivan thing.
Yeah.
Oh, we got another caller. We got Brian on the line. Brian?
Oh, yo.
You're on with Larry. You got a question?
I just want to say hi to the legend and see how he's doing. How's he been the past couple of years?
Well, how you doing, Brian? I'm doing good. I'm just hanging out in Larryland. Got the book done. I just golf a lot. Play poker with my girlfriend, and on the weekends, I go out and visit the fans and do autograph sessions and stuff. Just kind of coasting. I'll probably be back on TNA pretty soon.
Well, Legend, I don't know if you remember me or not, but a few years ago when you were in town in Cincinnati, you were doing the video game voiceovers. And a buddy of mine, Dean, and you referred to me as Young Bruno. We all went out to the Argus.
Oh, you're the one that picked me up with Dean?
Yeah, that's right, buddy. And yeah, I had the badge.
You look like Bruno.
Yeah, exactly. I really.
You all beat up.
Yeah. You had some nice things to say after I had gotten signed and stuff with WWE, and I want to say thank you for that. And I just wanted to let you know that everything you said to me that whole night, all the advice you gave me was stuff that was so true that when I got in these locker rooms with these people and stuff like that, I found myself saying, man, the legend was right. Everything the legend said was true. And it's like, you truly are the living legend. And it's amazing that a mind like you right now is able to come out with a book and the fans are able to basically see everything that's gone on throughout your career. So I just want to say congratulations and, much appreciation for everything you said to me that night.
Well, thank you very much.
Does that make you feel proud when you hear somebody like in wrestling that like a young guy maybe you gave a little bit of advice to, and they thank you for it, or they actually listen to you?
Yeah, no, that makes me feel good.
Yeah. Did I cut you off, Brian? Sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I just want to know, kind of a Mark question here, Legend. I recently been watching the ESPN Classic stuff, and I was just wondering, when they had you doing the segments, which are great, where you're doing the interview segments with the guys, were you hurt at the time, or was it just something that they felt like, let's keep you out of the ring and save you for a big angle? What was, why were they keeping you out of the ring at that time?
Well, you know what? If I remember right, it might have had something to do with the combination of things. One, I kept protesting that Stanley Blackburn wouldn't give me a title shot. I can't remember if I might have been suspended for something for a while. But then, too, I think Vern wanted to put that segment in because, McMahon was doing the Piper's Pit. So they thought their show should have a segment, so they had me do the In This Corner one.
Yeah, man, it's great. It's actually the first time I ever got to see it, and, you come off very cocky and just good old-school heel, and it's just cool the way they were able to incorporate you into everything, and, like the last caller said, what better way for the AWA to end off than with you as the champion, and I just want to know, do you still have the belt under your bed like you told me you did?
Yeah, I still got the belt.
That's great, man. Well, it's an honor and a pleasure, and I hope to pick up the book and read it. And again, thanks for everything, Legend.
Oh, well, thanks, Brian. Yeah, you'll like the book, and you'll learn some things and see how it changed, and let me know what you think.
Absolutely. Take care, Faizan.
Let everybody know that's the Spartan Swinger, Brian Danovich, and you can listen to his interview on In Your Head over at InYourHeadOnline.com. Thanks for calling in, Brian. All right, we also got Carol on the line.
Hey guys, what's going on? Hey, Larry Zbyszko. It's my very first. This is my very first time meeting you on the In Your Head. I got just a couple questions for you. I'm related to, you probably know him. I'm related to Jackie Crockett.
Yeah, oh Jackie.
Yeah, and he married my cousin Ruthie, and I was talking to him not too long ago, and I told him that you were going to be on here, and I tried to get him to call tonight, but I couldn't get no answer, and so I said I was going to tell him to call you so he can talk to you, and he wanted me to ask you about the golf, because you like to play golf. And
oh, yeah.
Yeah, and I live in North Myrtle Beach, and we got some good golf clubs, golf courses around here. I didn't know if you ever been to North Myrtle Beach to play golf?
Well, I've been to Myrtle Beach playing golf on one of the senior, mini tours. I don't remember what the name of the course was. I played so many of them. But I played a couple courses there, but I don't know if it was in Myrtle Beach or North Myrtle Beach or what part of Myrtle Beach.
Well, we got a bunch of them down here, and plus in North Carolina, in Calabash, North Carolina, there's a lot of new golf courses being built. And I used to work at Sea Trail, and that's a golf course, and it's a real nice golf course. You'd probably like that, and that's in Calabash in North Carolina. And but I never met you before, but I always watched you on WCW on Nitro, and I always thought that you would make a real good horseman, a four horseman.
Good. Well, yeah, I just wasn't big on groups.
Yeah, you made a good team with Arn Anderson and Beautiful Bobby Eaton, and me and Arn had a good one. I like that.
And if you read the book, Carol, there's actually I really like the idea that Larry talked about in there, that he had like an idea for like a look for the enforcers, and that they wanted to put on the magazine, and then they couldn't do it. But I really liked that whole idea. I think that would have worked well.
Yeah, it would have been a good image, but yeah.
I've got the magazine, the WCW magazine, when you were with Paulie Dangerously, and y'all had the Dangerous Alliance, and I've had that magazine for a long, long time, and I told Jackie about it, and he says, well, maybe if I can get up with him, maybe I can have it signed for you. And I said, because I started going to the Legends Fan Fest in Charlotte, and they're going to have like Ivan Koloff and Paul Jones. And but I didn't know. Are you going to be there at the Legends Fan Fest this year?
In Charlotte? Yeah, I might be there for a couple of days. Mm-hmm. I've been talking to some guy about it, recently.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to be there with the book, and then I can sign all the books and stuff.
Yeah, get you a book, Carol, and then he'll sign it for you.
Yeah, I'd like to meet you up there in Charlotte if you're going to be there.
Yeah, well, I think I will be. As of right now, it looks like I'll be there.
What are you doing now these days? I mean, are you retired, or are you still in TNA?
I'm semi-retired. Usually on the weekends. I'll still wrestle once in a while. Most of it's in autograph sessions and nostalgia shows. And during the week, I just golf a lot and play poker with my girlfriend, who loves me. I bless her.
Well, I can understand that. I can definitely understand that. But I'd love to meet you and get your autograph and talk to you some more. And
do you guys play any over/under on the clotheslines anymore? Or is that a thing in the past?
No, but I tell you what, I was thinking after people read the book, I wondered if people would start doing that when they watch a show, just set the over-under on clothesline, give them something to bet on. Hey, you want to hear something funny?
Mm-hmm.
I never watch, McMahon stuff, but I was in a restaurant and they had the WrestleMania on. And when the Flair thing came on, we all started laughing about it. And I set the over-under on chest slaps, because that's all Flair can do is chest slaps. So I set the over-under on 40, which was a ridiculous number, 40 chest slaps, right? And guess what? There was exactly 40 chest slaps. So we bet the over-under, but everybody had to split because I hit it right on the nose.
Oh man, you should have took all the money then. For guess that.
I should have.
Yeah. Did you? Is that something you didn't like to take? Getting chopped in the chest, just in general.
Well, it had nothing to do with taking one. The whole idea to me is the stupidest thing. I mean, here's two grown men fighting, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to stand there, and then some other idiot's going to slap you in the chest. If some guy slapped me in the chest, I'd bust him right in the mouth. What the hell is that? I'm supposed to fall down? I mean, to me, it's just one of the stupidest things. Hey, you're going to be in a fight. I'm going to slap you in the chest. Okay, I'm going to knock your head off, idiot. Slap me in the chest. What are you, a bunch of fags?
Have you ever heard the term strong style? Just know what you thought about that. It's like a style on an indie scene where they really hit each other hard, I guess.
Well, guys always hit each other hard, but I know what you mean. It gets to the point where, to me, it's ridiculous. I mean, I just like it the way it's a wrestling match with drama. I mean, just to stand there and hit each other with chairs and knock each other's teeth out, and it's pointless. And these idiots are doing it for no money.
Yeah. Someone here in the chat room, once you mentioned your girlfriend, he wants to know what pickup line did Larry use to introduce himself?
I can't remember. It's just the weirdest thing. You wouldn't believe it if I told you.
Yeah. When you're Larry Zbyszko, you don't need a pickup line. You just
I wasn't trying to pick her up. It just kind of happened. It's weird.
She's using the line on you, I assume. Someone also, they want to know this. They actually asked us last time we had you on, like a year ago. Who do you consider a robotized sheep?
Robotized sheep. I imagine everybody with a normal job that wakes up at 6 in the morning to sit in traffic every morning, to sit in the cubicle behind a computer with a suit and tie, and then get back and sit in traffic for another 2 hours just to get back home at 8 o'clock and then wake up and sit in traffic again. It's like robotized sheep.
I don't want to give away it's a thing in the book that I read, but I wrote it down right away because I was just intrigued, what the gimmick was. Maybe I won't say what you said it was, but it sounded like a Bond villain to me. I was just wondering, what exactly was this the man with the golden boots going to be?
Well, you know what? I was thinking of some things. I just thought it had a classy sound to it. Yeah, remember the man with the golden gun?
Yeah.
And then there was another old Western movie with Henry Fonda in it where he was a retired gunfighter, but then for the big showdown, he came out and he had the golden-handled guns that everybody freaked out about. I just thought it would be cool to have, the man with the golden boots and just walk out. Anybody that can beat me can get these 24-karat boots, if you're man enough to take them off. But had a good ring to it. Never happened.
Yeah, I like that idea. Does it ever bother you that, a lot of fans know, a lot of the terms today, like heel and babyface and heat and comeback?
Well, it doesn't bother me. I mean, not at my stage of the game.
Mm-hmm.
Everything changed. The only bad part about it for the fans is the drama. I mean, the excitement and the emotional feeling that used to be in the sport is kind of gone. I mean, it's like going to a movie. If you know the ending of the movie, it kind of kills the excitement of sitting there for 2 hours,
Mm-hmm. Did you have a question from the message? I just asked if they had something from the message board.
Oh, yeah, POD from our message board. He wants to know, are you friends with Raven?
No, not really.
I
think he's a big crybaby. But see, here's another guy. I mean, some of these guys come along and they're not great athletes. They can't wrestle. They're not tough guys. So they come up with these ridiculous, stupid gimmicks, and all they do is bounce off of chairs and do these stupid things. And to me, it makes no sense. I mean, it's kind of the thing that made the wrestling business kind of stale right now. I mean, you know, if you put Raven in the ring with a guy like Kurt Angle and let him go, Raven would be crumpled up in about 10 seconds. So, plus the other thing is Raven doesn't draw money. Well, why bother?
POD also wants to know, do you think they should have put the belt on Scott Hall in WCW?
Well, what they should have done, and the New World Order was a separate animal. The bad thing that they really screwed up over and over, but you know the company was ending anyway, was they should have put it on Goldberg and left it on Goldberg.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, they had it on Goldberg, and then everything went to hell. It was the most horrifying, ridiculous joke I've ever seen when the idiot writer has the belt, and then this little kid actor, Marquette or something, he's got the belt, and they really made the belt ridiculous, a joke.
Mm-hmm.
You know, now there's so many belts, they're all a joke.
Someone here in the chat room, he wants to know, what do you think about Brian Logan, who, I guess he beat you for the AWA title in April.
What do I think of Brian Logan?
Yeah.
Oh, he seemed like an all right kind of guy, you know, but I have nothing to do with whatever the AWA decides, you know. It was some kind of three-man match, a three-way match or something.
Mm-hmm.
But then I don't know if the AWA sanctions three-way matches for title matches or nothing, but Brian seemed like an all right guy.
Carol?
I really don't know the guy.
Carol, did you have anything else?
Everybody's nice to me. They all call me sir, and it ticks me off.
You want them to be mean to you.
Yeah, I just wanted to say just one more thing. Larry, it was an honor to watch you on WCW, and I wish WCW was back on the air, because I really do miss it, because you made a good wrestler, you made a good commentary. From all the WCW wrestlers, I will never forget all the memories that I had when I would sit there and watch it every Monday night. And I
appreciate that.
And
thank you very much.
I can remember when the NWA, when y'all were in Florida, and the NWO started attacking everybody, and they threw Rey Mysterio in that trailer wall. And you were doing announcing, and you said somebody's in the back, and they're doing the NWO's taking over, and I watched that, and I've got the videotape of it, and I watch it just about all the time now, and but you really made a good announcer, you made a good wrestler, and I hope that we can get together and meet each other and try and get your autograph, because I love wrestling to death. That's
I
all
do
I
too. I wish it was a little better.
Well,
thanks for the compliment.
I wanted to be a wrestler when I was younger, but now that I go to the wrestling shows and I take pictures and I get their autographs, I like doing that, because Jackie let me go when I went to Charlotte. Jackie let me go in the ring, and I've never been in the ring before, and I saw how it was, and I'm thinking, man, they get thrown over the top rope, and it's like 13 feet down when you're on the second turnbuckle. And y'all really got injured, and I really felt sorry for everybody that got injured. And
it hurts.
Yeah, but I told Jackie and his wife Ruthie, I said, I just like what I'm doing now is just going to the wrestling matches, watching it, and going to get the autographs and talking to them, and that's an honor for me to get to go do those things. But you really made a mark in my life, because when you were broadcasting, you would say what you wanted to say, and you got it around to everybody on the TV. And I went to my first pay-per-view in '97. I went to Slamboree, and I got to see how that was. And for the first time, I got to meet Dusty Rhodes and just about everybody in the locker room.
Cool.
And it was a real honor to meet everybody.
Hey, thanks for calling in, Carol.
What's that?
Thanks for calling in, man.
Thanks for calling in, man. We appreciate it.
Okay.
Somebody in the chat room, Wild Apache, he wants to know if you ever got mad at any type of promos anyone cut on you, like Scott Hall.
No, I never got mad. It's the nature of the business to stir up the manure.
Right.
And Scott did a great job at it. He was very good at it. I did the same thing years ago. But I mean, if I didn't, make everybody mad, but it was funny. You know who I made mad once was the Crockett's. I think I put that in the book.
Yeah.
I used to do such interviews that the promoters used to get mad at me and take it personal.
Right.
Maybe that's why Jackie's not calling in.
Yeah.
Do you think there's, because some people have said, like, online, and I've read this, that there's, like, the wrong kind of heat. Do you think that there's such a thing, like, you can make the fans actually mad that they just don't want to even, like, pay to see you?
Oh, yeah. There's two kinds of heat. There's heat that's great, that motivates. Heat makes the world go around, and the wrestling business. I mean, the world wouldn't be exciting if there wasn't the bad guys.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's another kind of heat called it's disgusting heat, and it turns the fans off. And there's definitely two. And when you get people that don't know the business, they kill it, and then out of panic, they try to do something that they think's going to work, but it's usually a disgusting thing instead of something good.
Mm-hmm. Would you give, like, an example of that?
Oh, God, I'd have to really think about that. I mean, as an example.
Right. I think everyone...
It would take a while. It would take a while to think of an example like that. But, it's kind of like what McMahon does overall. I mean, if his business is down, and because he doesn't know how to make stars, he comes up with all these ridiculous things where Triple H is humping a dead body in a coffin, or two girls is in a motel room pretending to be lesbos, but they don't see the secret camera crew, or the late Eddie Guerrero's wife, what she's doing on television, I have no clue.
Yeah.
But she's in bed with Edge under the covers. I mean, so it's just disgusting, stupid stuff that turns fans off, but they don't know how to do anything right, so that's what they do.
Yeah, that's actually something that gets on my nerves, is when they, it's like the people that they're showing they don't, like, realize that a camera's right there. It really just kind of takes you out of the show.
It does. It's stupid, and they keep doing it.
Mm-hmm. I remember it used to be like that they would try to explain why a camera was there. Kind of like when the Horsemen would beat someone down, they had a cameraman with them. It wasn't just like, they just didn't know a camera sitting right there.
Well, there's ways to film stuff, but not like that.
Right.
It's just stupid. And, it's kind of ticking me off, because, I mean, the fans have been seeing that for over 10 years now, and, the promoters won't listen. Unfortunately, there's only one, Vince, and I wish TNA would quit watching so much Vince, because they're getting into the same groove where after 2 hours is these stupid skits.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, does anybody really believe AJ Styles gives a damn about Kurt Angle's wife? Hell no. It's stupid.
Nah, I do.
Do you think, like, when you have someone like that, like you got Kurt Angle and AJ Styles, I mean, you could just let those two guys wrestle and it should be good stuff. You shouldn't have to have, like, a bunch of crazy stuff.
You can just let them be what they are. AJ is a phenomenal guy. He could really pump up something that's a TNA, exclusive, the X Division. And my God, you got Kurt Angle, who does a great job. He's a good talker, but he's a gold medal winner, for Pete's sake.
Yeah.
Nothing against his wife, but what the hell's she doing on TV? She can win no gold medals.
Do you think if Kurt Angle's around, like in the 80s or the 70s, he would have been even bigger? Like they would have really played into the fact that he won a gold medal? Maybe it would have been a bigger deal for fans.
Oh yeah. I mean, it should be a big deal now, especially with the popularity of like the Ultimate Fight and stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, if the wrestling people were smart, they'd realize, well, damn, UFC's doing 600,000 buy rates, and TNA's doing 20,000. So what are we doing wrong here, people?
Mm-hmm. Do you think Samoa Joe's like a good guy to be like the champion, be like the main guy in TNA?
Well, I think Samoa Joe could definitely be one of them.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you did it right, you can make these guys special. But that's why you got to stay away from all these groups and teams and all this garbage, because instead of having a guy special, it makes everybody the same as everybody else. And you don't want that. You don't want a whole bunch of guys that are good. You need somebody that's great.
Right. Now, earlier when I asked you about, if you minded people knew, a lot of the terms, now, I had heard an interview with Colonel De Beers, who's a guy you talk fondly about in the book, and he said there's some, terms that, work rate and moveset that he thinks were just, created by people on the Internet or Dave Meltzer, that it wasn't, anything the actual wrestlers ever talked about. Is that true?
No, we never... Yeah, that's true. I mean, that's why we kind of think the whole thing is stupid. I mean, you get these guys that, like Meltzer and some of the other ones who, make a living off of wrestling propaganda. And, they get their little scoops and facts, but then half of it's, is nothing but their opinion. And they have no idea what they're talking about. They just have to type a whole bunch of words so people buy their nonsense. So, I mean, what does Dave Meltzer or anybody else know about the wrestling business? They weren't there. I've been a wrestler for 35 years, never seen him in a ring. I mean, it's just so stupid.
Did a lot of people read his stuff back in your day, or what did people think of that when that started coming out, the Wrestling Observer and the newsletters?
Well, most of the guys thought it was atrocious because all it was somebody who was never in the business reaching off us like a parasite, trying to make a living by exposing our business. And it wasn't something that people didn't know. It's not like people are stupid, but it's something people just don't want to hear about because it kills their fantasy.
One of our fans here, Norrin, he wanted to know if you saw the spectacular legacy of the AWA DVD, and what did you think?
No, I didn't watch it.
Oh, so we don't know what he thought of it.
I don't know what I think.
Are you glad that ESPN Classics are replaying the old episodes?
Oh, yeah. I'm excited about that. In fact, I was watching the first few months, which had a lot of me in it. Mm-hmm. Then they got into some years that I wasn't in. I think they're in an 88, so I think they're going to be playing them all summer, so I can't wait for me to come back on, because there was a whole bunch of classic stuff I did with Snuka and from Slaughter and then De Beers and Snuka, and there's some cool stuff I remember that they haven't shown yet, so I can't wait to see it. But it's been kind of cool because every time I go to TNA or do a show, all the wrestlers are watching the AWA, so they're all like my big fans now, because a lot of the young guys don't remember all that stuff, so it's kind of a coincidence because it kind of came out at the same time the book's coming out. So it kind of, gives me more publicity. So it's, I forgot how good I was. I saw some stuff I did. But I wrote about that in the book, too. It was a different time, and, I took some liberties with cable, and I basically started the whole suck chance. Right. And before that, fans didn't do that. Plus, to say suck on TV was a heavy-duty thing. if you listen to the AWA tapes, when the audience is chanting Larry sucks, and they don't do it for anybody else, the announcers never say a word about it because it was like a bad thing. You know, it was years after that you couldn't even say ass yet. You know.
Is it hard to explain to somebody who's not a wrestling fan, or like somebody know that like people chanting Larry sucks is actually a good thing?
Well, you know, it's a good thing if you're a bad guy.
Yeah. I don't mean just like if you walk in a restaurant, it's like, man, this guy sucks.
You know, but it was different. You know, years ago when I walked into a restaurant years ago, it was a different scene. I mean, you know, people would want to fight you and throw stuff, and the cops would have to come, and I'd get death threats. I mean, it was a different world.
We got a caller on the line. Who is this?
This is Alex from California.
Okay, you got a question for Larry?
Yeah, I do. I just wanted to ask, what were the circumstances under the, I believe in February 1998, you cut, I think, a promo on Louis Spicolli when he passed away, and people considered it tasteless and such around, you know, the wrestling community. What was exactly the story behind it? Was it something Eric Bischoff told you to do?
Well, I couldn't hear everything you said. Something about Eric Bischoff and what, Spicolli?
Yeah, he wanted to know about the promo that you cut after Louis Spicolli passed away, about like you doing like a little promo on him. You know, why did you do that, and do you think if it was tasteless?
Oh well, yeah. Well, you know, a lot of people talk about that. And it was weird, but I was supposed to wrestle Spicolli, and then a week before the match, he OD'd and died, and when I was doing the broadcasting, I really couldn't say anything. And as you know, we were talking, the executive producer, Craig Leathers, kept coming on my headsets, and they were just telling me, "Don't say nothing. Don't say nothing about Spicolli. Don't say nothing about Spicolli." And I'm on live air. Well, I made a comment that was just very, you know, short, because I didn't want to get in trouble with the networks and TBS. You know, I mean, WCW at the time, they didn't want anything to come out about Spicolli's death because it was a drug overdose, and they don't want publicity with the wrestlers dropping dead of drug overdoses. So, you know, it was just kind of it was a very tragic thing, and Louis was a very nice kid, but, you know, WCW didn't want nothing said over the air about it, and I didn't know what to say, so I just said something kind of short. I think people thought it might have been disrespectful, but that was kind of a WCW call.
You think in a way like he probably would have liked that you still, you know, kind of kept in character after he passed away?
Oh, Louis would have, yeah.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Did you have anything else, Alex?
No, I'm good, thank you. Just wanted to say, you know, good luck at everything.
Where would that have gone, like, that storyline with you and Louis Spicolli?
I really don't know. I probably just would have beat the snot out of him. And then I go back to the golf course where I belong.
Do you have a question, Inchman? Or Barb? From Eli Babes, she wants to know from the message board.
That's a boy.
No, I'm sorry.
That's
what do you think knockout division in TNA, and do you think it helps TNA?
Well, I think it's good. I don't think anything's wrong with lady wrestlers if you promote them like lady wrestlers. And I think TNA's got a couple of classics. You know, I mean, if you watch McMahon's TV, everybody out there is like an ex-stripper. You know, I mean, they're all very good-looking chicks. They all got plastic boobs. You know, but they're all the same. You know, I couldn't tell the difference between any of them because they're all beautiful little chicks that are just flopping around. But TNA did some good stuff, and they got some good characters that get away from the stupid, diva mold of all these ex-strippers. They got Kong, which does a good job, and I like the OTB one. Yeah. She's a rugged chick. And then they got some good ones too. Gail Kim's great. I mean, they do some stuff. I think they got a good thing going with that.
Mm-hmm. Are you surprised? Like it has gotten over big. Like a lot of the fans are really into the knockout division on TNA.
Well, no, they're doing a pretty good job with it, and they're keeping it in perspective. Where the ladies' division is a lady division, you know.
Do you ever think it?
Not like
right. I was just saying, do you think it's kind of a big like battle on our message board? Is some people think like someday the women could like main event the show, and some people don't. Do you think there ever could come a day where like the show would be main evented by the women?
Well, you know what? It's not that it's impossible, but it would be very, very unlikely.
Right. I agree with you, Larry. So
it would be very, very unlikely.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing's impossible in wrestling, but, you know, it would be very unlikely.
Mm-hmm. I remember I used to listen to it was like a Luthez interview right before he died, and it might have even been in his book that he said like when he was NWA champ and he wouldn't wrestle on like a card that had women or midgets. Did you ever like have any? I don't know, you probably didn't wrestle Luthez, but were you ever any cards or anything with Luthez?
Well, you know what? No, he was way before me. I did have a couple matches where Luthez was the special referee, and he gave me some big compliments. Lou, he told me I was the best wrestling heel he's ever seen.
That's
and
cool.
That was a big compliment, you know. But he was way before my time. I never, wrestled or anything like that. He did.
Well, he wrestled in 7 decades, I believe.
Yeah.
Dwayne, I think the last caller here is Dwayne.
What's up?
You got a question for Larry Zbyszko?
Yeah, I just want to first off say that I have so much respect for you, and to hear you put over women's wrestling just doubled it.
Oh. What do you say?
He's got a lot of respect for you, and he was happy that you put women's wrestling over.
Oh, okay. Well, no, they're doing a good job.
My question is, what was it like working with Bobby Heenan in WCW?
Oh, he was a classic. He was great. I mean, Bob was like a comedian all the time. I mean, hanging out with Bob was a constant laugh. All we did was laugh our butts off all afternoon while everybody else was working, and then we just went out and did the commentating. It was like a gift from God, that job.
All right, thanks, man.
Cheap plug for us, you can listen to a Bobby Heenan interview on InYourHeadOnline.com, as well as Kong and ODB.
Oh, that was cheap.
Oh, man. You got to get that stuff in. Plus, you got to pick up Adventures in Larryland, the Larry Zbyszko book, and it's written by Larry Zbyszko. I think he's like one of only 3 wrestlers that wrote their own book. There might be a little more, but I don't think there's very many. Anything?
No, I don't. Yeah,
definitely. But probably not just wrestlers. Not very many people, write their own autobiographies.
Mm-hmm.
Completely on their own. Anything you want to tell the fans out there why they should pick it up?
Well, I tell you what, if you want to find out a whole bunch of things like, why McMahon hates me and how the business used to be and how it changed, and it's a very amusing 30 years I touched on. You just have to get the book, and I wrote it word for word, and it's the real deal. So if you read any books, you got to do this way. It's getting rave reviews from everybody that's read it. I'm very excited. So
yeah. And I actually read it in like one sitting because it's a lot of fun, and you just want to keep reading it. I'm not just saying
it's an easy read, and I didn't write boring stuff like who cares what happened when I was in the 3rd grade and all that nonsense.
Right. Yeah, I mean,
well, I was it's an easy read, but I kind of left you every chapter. I made you go over to the next one because I set you up.
Exactly. You did a good job. I really enjoyed it.
This is Christopher Cruz from World Championship Wrestling, and you're listening to InYourHeadOnline.com.